The Biden White House is urging the House of Representatives to take up the $95 billion foreign aid package to Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan that the Senate passed yesterday morning. Speaker Mike Johnson is now reportedly requesting a one-on-one meeting with President Biden to discuss the issue. Joining us now, White House National Security Communications Advisor and Assistant to the President, retired Rear Admiral John Kirby. What more do we know about this meeting? Does Mike Johnson need something in return for foreign aid to these countries?
Hey, Mika, good morning. I don't have anything on the president's schedule to speak to with respect to the speaker individually. As you know, he and other congressional leaders were over at the White House a couple of weeks ago, and the president had a chance with his entire national security team to walk them through the supplemental funding and why each bucket was so important, and certainly to hear from them. Now, we'll keep those conversations going with members of Congress, and certainly as appropriate with Speaker Johnson. But as the president said yesterday, we're at an inflection point. This is a moment for leadership. And if that bill comes to the president's desk, he'll sign it. And Ukrainian soldiers then won't run out of ammunition on the front lines. Our friends in Israel will have the air defense capabilities that they need because they're still getting rockets fired at them. And U.S. Central Command, our own troops, will be able to be properly resourced for the fight that they're in terms of defending shipping in the Red Sea and trying to prevent Houthi attacks on that shipping.
So this package used to be connected to border security, which failed. What are the conversations in the White House about exactly what these House Republicans want? Because if you look at any of these packages, on the face of it, it usually is something that they would want.
Yeah, I wish I could answer that question, but we can't. I mean, they said they wouldn't approve a penny for Ukraine unless the border was tied into it. So we said, OK, and we participated and helped with the negotiations that are largely done on the Senate side to get that done. And now they say, well, no, can't do it because, for whatever reason, for whatever leadership reasons they have for that. So it's difficult to know exactly where they are. I mean, the speaker's been twisting himself into pretzel knots here in terms of what he's willing to justify on any given day. We need this funding. We need the funding for the border, too, but we need this funding for our national security with Ukraine, Israel, with humanitarian assistance, and certainly, as you rightly said, in the Indo-Pacific. I mean, these aren't just a wish list. I mean, this is actual urgent funding that's required for our own national security.
Admiral, good morning. You're not alone in expressing this urgency. The 22 Republican senators who voted for it among the 70 votes yesterday are now talking openly in public to Speaker Johnson and saying, this is your moment for history. You need to go do this. You need to get your caucus together. The Wall Street Journal editorial page talking to Speaker Johnson directly saying, if you don't do it, if you block this vote, you will bear responsibility for what comes next, talking about lessons learn from other countries that will say, well, the United States actually won't be there to back up its allies. Can you speak, if you were in a room with Speaker Johnson or a Republican considering voting for this, about the stakes here?
I think we would say you believe in the importance of national security. This supplemental funding bill gets us better national security. You believe we should be tough on Iran. This supplemental funding bill will help us get tough on Iran. You believe we ought to stand up to tyrants like Putin and the PRC. Well, then, by goodness, this funding helps us meet those national security needs. So if you believe in national security, if you believe in giving our troops, quite frankly, the tools, the capabilities they need to protect themselves against the attacks that they're still fending off in the Red Sea and still fending off in Iraq and Syria, my goodness, this is the time. This is the moment. This is the time to put politics aside. We're talking about national security. We're not talking about political ramifications here. We're talking about protecting our troops and our interests in critical parts all over the world.
Admiral, good morning. It's Jonathan Lemire. There's reporting this morning about Rafah. That's Gaza. More than half of the population in Gaza has fled to Rafah right now. Israel considering really escalating the violence there, saying the attacks there, saying that's where they believe the Hamas leadership has fled. But the reporting this morning suggests the U.S. won't, despite warnings to not harm civilians, won't punish Israel if they do. That they could just go in there and not see any impact from the relationship with the United States. Could you discuss that, sir? Why that decision?
Yeah, Jonathan, I think this is an interesting argument here about whether we will or won't punish Israel. This is not about punishing Israel for ramifications here on operations that haven't happened yet. What we've said is that we understand their need to go after these Hamas battalions that are in the south. There's no question about that. They have an obligation to protect themselves against these still viable military units of Hamas. That said, as they do that, as we have said long before, we need to make sure, we want to make sure that they're doing it in a way commensurate with protection of innocent civilians. And right now, there's more than 1 million innocent civilians who have gravitated towards the south and around Rafah as the fighting proceeded up in Gaza City and then gravitated down towards Khan Yunis. So they have been pushed south by the fighting. It's really important that the Israelis factor their safety and security in no matter what they do down in Rafah. It's not that they don't have a legitimate right to go after these guys. They absolutely do. But we want to see that they've factored in the safety and security of all those innocent civilians. And look, it's a challenge. That will be a challenge for any military. The Gaza Strip's 12 miles wide. There's not a lot of space. And you're talking about a lot of people. So they've got to factor that in. And we're talking to them about what that could look like.
White House National Security Communications Advisor and Assistant to the President, retired Rear Admiral John Kirby. Thank you very much for coming on this morning. We appreciate it. And coming